This week's guest is medium Joshua Ali, medium in residence Elaine Taylor, historian Jeremy Marsh with host Lazarus Carpenter.
MostHauntedCastle.com. Paranormal investigations with a difference. Visit our website or ring reception for details 01639 731167.
Well, good evening and welcome to another episode of In the Psychic's Chair. And of course, this is episode 5. And our special guest this evening is Joshua Ali, which will be very interesting for all of us. Sadly, Jeremy isn't here with us this week because his son is rather poorly. So we'll be talking a little bit about the work that we did and using some inserts for you to see that. And then, of course, we'll be having a walk around with our wonderful medium in residence, Elaine Taylor. And that is it for On the Psychic's Chair this evening. So sit back and enjoy the program.
Walls Have Ears, 1843 to 1877, Volume 1. Why not tune in to Showboat Television Online, Roku or Amazon Fire and watch Whisperings of Craig E. Noss, produced by John Rolls and based on channeling and books by Lazarus Carpenter. A journey into the paranormal, only on Showboat Television. Book available from artist and makers Emporium SA9, 1GL, Amazon, and LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com. Volume 2 coming soon.
Well, as we said, sadly, Jeremy isn't here with us this week. But we are going to show you a couple of clips of some of the interviews that we had. Firstly, with Captain Rice Powell Davies, who was the man who commissioned the building of Craigie Noss Castle back in 1834. And we're going to hear from him directly a few things that he told us about his life in those days. And then we're going to be talking to, would you believe, a very interesting chap, Thomas Wyatt. Now, Thomas Wyatt was the architect of Craigie Noss Castle, and he had some very interesting experiences with the captain, which he will share with us as well. So we will play you those two inserts, and Jeremy will be back with us next week.
What are you doing here? Why?
I'm dressing you.
Why are you here?
Well, I come to say hello.
I don't think I was talking to you, my dear. Who are you? No, I don't think I was talking to you at all. Yeah. I want to know why all these people are in my house. Yeah. I didn't build this place to be invaded by people. No. Why are you all here? I don't think I like it. I don't like it at all. You know who I am? You?
Who's the Baron?
The who? I don't know any Baron. I ain't Baron at all. I know this much should be off to Botany Bay if I had my way about it. Sent a few to Botany Bay. A few more to the gallows. Killed on his horse. Steeple chasing in the Isle of Wight. No age to die. No age to die. Anyway, when you address me as Sir or Captain. Don't address me in any other way. If I was sitting here in judgment upon you, you'd be calling me magistrate. And I'll tell you now, you wouldn't fare well. No. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah. impressed me, you know. I didn't believe in things like that. In the end, I couldn't believe in anything else. Nobody ever had as much bad luck as I did. Bad. Joining her here was rather wonderful afternoon. Wonderful afternoon. A little chilly outside. Yeah, chilly. I came to talk to you last week. Remember what I said to you? You? Thomas Wyatt. Who I am.
Oh,
Yes, yes, indeed.
Thomas White.
Yeah, Wyatt.
Yes.
Wyatt. W-H-A-T-T. Y-A-T-T. Yeah. Yes. My friend Brandon and I built this place, remember?
Yes.
In 1845 we started building. 1847 we found it finished and his lordship moved in. Look, that's great. I told you he owed us a lot of money, didn't I? Yes. He owed a lot of people a lot of money. You see the trouble with the gentry folk? They all think that they own the world and they haven't got a pot to piss in. Yeah. Terrible. He was a magistrate, you know.
Yeah.
And they made the rules up as he went along, like a lot of these people did. If you were a poor person and you went up and to somebody like him, you throw the key away, lock you up for the most putrid crimes. Starving child steals a loaf of bread and they send it to prison. For God's sake, what kind of justice is that? What kind of justice is that? There isn't any justice at all, is there?
No.
That's what they did. Yeah. He wasn't a nice man, you see. He was full of all sorts of pretentiousness. It just didn't really ring right. When he asked us to do what we were to do, it took us nearly 3 years, you know, only 3 years. And lots of men helping, of course. Quite a few accidents.
Yeah?
Oh yes. Especially with the dynamite. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. When we were building the foundations, you see, we needed a lot of rock to put into the foundation. And blasting as we were the Cribboth and the Penwilt, there was a lot of the stone that we used. You know, when you use dynamite, it tends to blow in all directions. And people didn't always get out of the way in time, so there was quite a few accidents, sadly, and quite a few deaths as well. And he never, you would expect, well I would anyway, because I'm a decent sort of chap, always was, I would expect if somebody died whilst they were working for me, I would at least make some recompense for their family. Some kind of recompense, you know. Make sure they didn't starve because their husband was no longer alive to keep food in their bellies. Yes, not the captain. No. Out of sight, out. He didn't care. He didn't care at all. There's no wonder, really, you know, that he came to such a sticky end. No wonder at all. And of course, there was the Overbeck curse that you're aware of, no doubt. Yes, and I'm sure that had a lot of water, you know. I'm sure it did. Because every time when he first moved in here, everything was okay for a little while, apart from the fact, of course, he owed people money. But everything was okay for a little while, and then everything started to go very wrong indeed. You know, he made a lot of enemies. You know, these are things that the history books don't tell you.
Yeah.
The history books only tell you how wonderful people were, don't actually tell you what they really did and what they were really like. And he could be a very unpleasant chap. He was a bit bombastic. And of course, being an ex-military fellow as well, he could be very cruel. Very cruel. Especially to people who worked with him. He wasn't cruel to us. I mean, the only thing he did to us was not pay us what he should have done when he should have done. And he couldn't bully us. We were doing him a job. But I mean, some of the workers, he would perhaps walk onto the site and he'd see somebody sat, having a smoke on the old clay pipe, minding their own business, taking 5 minutes break after working for God knows how long, and he'd come in and he'd shout and he'd bawl and, laying the law down. They didn't work for him, they worked for us. But he liked to interfere. He did like to interfere. Yeah. It's quite an interesting experience for me to be able to share some of these things because, of course, nobody really knows the truth, do they?
No.
And I suppose it takes us to come back to tell people how it really was, what really happened in those times. But it was 2.5 years it took us to build this, not as it is now, of course, because the lady who bought it later, she did a lot more to it than we did. She built a lot more on it than we did. And it was really just a very large Gothic mansion, which is what he wanted. Ideas above his station, of course. Yeah. I may possibly come back and talk to you again, if I'm allowed to. I don't know why I'm doing this today, it just sort of happened. It's not as if I was queuing up or anything, but I understand from Mr. Williams that I should have been in the queue. He told me last week. He said I should have been in the queue. And I don't know why. I think I came because it was I was supposed to. I think I was supposed to. I think what I had to say you needed to know. In fact, I'm convinced of what I had to say you needed to know. Nobody knows these things, you see. Nobody knows these things.
9 ghost stories to fuel paranormal paranoia for insomniacs. A man unable to say no. A headless horse seeks revenge. An ancient castle lost in time. A medium guided by a haunted pen. The whispering windmill. An abandoned railway station. A girl and a raven. A secret passageway. And the very strange absent ball. Illustrated by Jill Brooks and written by Lazarus Carpenter. Available from Amazon, Lulu, Artist and Makers Emporium.uk and LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com.
Well, here we are. It's guest medium time. And in the psychic's chair this evening, I have Joshua Ali. Josh, hi, and welcome to In the Psychic's Chair.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. I mean, I've seen you work. I know how gifted and skilled you are, and what a wonderful ambassador you are for Spirit.
Thank you.
I wonder whether it might be a good place to start. Is why?
Why? Well, I'll go back to the start then and tell you how I started actually doing sort of mediumship. And it's going to sound in a bit of a selfish reason, if I'm honest.
No, not at all.
My granddad, he was my best friend, and I cared for him for a year before he passed. And I always remember after he passed, it took me some time to grieve, and he was the first person I actually lost in my life. And I remember the one day I had all of his stuff in front of me on my bed. His St. Christopher, his decapitator, his hand sanitizer, different things like that. And I was grieving, I was crying. And I remember all of a sudden, what I know now it was a surge of energy coming through me at that moment in time. And I closed my eyes, and all I remember is basically my third eye just opening up. And then all of a sudden I looked, and my granddad was in front of me in spirit. And I got so scared, I was petrified. And
a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it was 100% shock. And I was crazy. I thought, you know, what's going to happen? You know,
Have
all
I
of
gone
them.
mad?
Yes, exactly that, exactly that. And I just remember then chucking everything to one side, and I was like, right, that didn't happen. You know, chose to forget about it. It was one of those things. But then I was drawn to go see a medium, and I met with a very, very good medium, Lee Gameson, which then I sat in his living room with my friend, and she was writing everything down. And 10 minutes into the reading, he actually said to me, Joshua, you don't come for a reading, you're a medium. You've actually come for me to help you and guide you. And he grabbed an object of a family member's of his, and he said to me, I want you just to tell me everything that just comes to you at that moment in time. So I just started reeling off a load of different information, bits, you know, stuff like that. And then Spirit, for the first time to me, stepped forward, and I started just giving off things about her life and his life and different things like that. And then from that moment on, he put me in a circle. And what the reason was mainly behind that was I wanted to speak to my granddad again. I wanted to communicate with the spirit world. And I always felt as a child that it wasn't just that, you pass and that's it. It was always going to be something more to that. And I could feel it in my heart as well. So then back when I was 19, 20, about then, and he tried to put me onto rostrum, and I was like, I'm too young. I need to go learn and live and different things like that. And then throughout the time, I found people were just naturally drawn to myself. And then it became of helping people and actually wanting to help people and give them comfort. And as you know, when you work with spirit, it comes from a place of love, an expression of love. And it's something beautiful, to be honest. And that's what led me then onto the path of helping people, working on rostrum, doing one-to-one readings, and helping to do charities, fundraisers to raise money for good causes, and using these abilities to help.
So your grandfather's responsible for you sitting in that chair, really?
100%.
Are you sure about that? Do you not think that it might have started before?
It did. You know what? It did actually start a lot, you know, before that. And I remember as a kid being sat on my own. I spent a lot of time on my own. I had friends, don't get me wrong, but I enjoyed being on my own. But I wasn't always alone. To other people I was, but I wasn't myself. And I remember the one day that I was sat there and I started playing my hands just like this. And I could feel a vibration or something, like a magnetic field, basically, between my hands. My hands were just going back and forth. And then I tried to speak to a friend about it at the time, and I was like, oh, can you do this? Can you? I was like, no, what are you on about? I don't feel nothing.
How old were you at that?
8.
Right, okay.
So I was really young, 8 years of age, and then I just thought, oh, just forget about it, like that sort of thing. But actually, before that, then something else happened, and my auntie is actually a medium, and when I was about 13, then she came to visit us, and she gave me a load of books on witchcraft.
Oh, witchcraft.
Yeah, witchcraft at the time. And back then, manifestation wasn't really a thing. But then I look back on the books, which I've still got today, and it is manifestation with the intent of things, and sigils and different things like that. And she said, you're going to use these one day. I never thought nothing about it. Really. Then you look back over certain times, and there is a piece of the puzzle throughout the years of it.
It's a journey, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's very much a journey. I mean, you were like a lot of us, you experienced stuff when you were small, which seems to suggest to me, I mean, we have no evidence of this, but it does seem to suggest to me that we do bring this gift with us when we come in, and it is something that is more pronounced in some than in others. You know, the sixth sense, if you like.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt whatsoever that the more that one chooses to develop it, the more in tune one becomes. And the more you seem to achieve in all things in life.
It's all part of the journey, isn't it? Regardless.
Yeah. It's like the vibration of fitting in is that. And not what society tells us. Yeah. But it's what your inner self tells you, shows you something. What's the most interesting thing, do you think, that you've ever experienced as a medium? I mean, there's many.
There is. Do you know what? I had so many things then come to me at once. And the most sort of interesting thing is trust, I would say, to me. is trusting my spirit team.
Right.
And being able then to connect to a spirit, male or female or whatever, and being able to pass on evidential messages,
Yes.
mediumship, you know. So you've seen me work, and when I work, spirit likes to take back to funny times, memories, and different things like that. And when I work, it's all about upliftment. You know, I have been known to be a bit of a comedian sometimes, and a medium at the same time, but it's just the way that spirit works.
But yeah, I'm forever saying to people that spirit loves humour. That you know, the humour raises our energy levels up, and of course, as our energy levels raise up, spirit can make contact.
100%.
Yeah,
It's that connection between them, and just the trust is so important, isn't it? You know,
I encounter, as I'm sure you do, many people who say that they're mediums yet don't work with a guide. What are your feelings about that?
Yeah, so do you know? Okay, so this is going back now in my sort of life and everything as well. I've always had this male sort of energy around me, and I've always known that the way he appeared to me was blue eyes and blonde hair. And then throughout my life, then I've always had him with me, and he gave me his name the one day. Well, I asked him, and I remember the one day I said to him, "Can you please give me your name?" So, and I'll tell you his name, everything. And I remember there was this artist or this song that come on the radio, and I said to him, "Can you give me the name 3 times? And that's how I will know that's your name." And I kid you not, the song came on, and the name was Gabriel. And it kept on appearing 3 times in 7 days. Right. And then I started calling him Gabriel, and he smiled about it, and he's been with me throughout.
And you think he's what, Palladian or Arcturian?
100%. 100%. And this is, I'm drawn to blue eyes and blonde hair as well, and I felt it in this life 100% Palladian. Yes.
I mean, my guide is Palladian.
Wow. Okay.
As is Elaine.
Yeah. Oh wow! I didn't know that.
I think that viewers will probably know, and some will question, and hopefully we'll get a few remarks on the stream about it. But I think many of the really sort of ascended guides are Palladian and Arcturian, because there's something we all need to give back from the beginning of time, where things have not been too good.
Yeah.
And there's even more need for it now in the world today than there ever has been. And I've noticed, the internet's a wonderful thing, isn't it? In as much as we're able to keep in touch with what's going on. But across the world, it does seem that the number of Arcturian and guides that are coming through, and Palladian guides that are coming, is quite phenomenal. There's a part of me that thinks that some of us were indeed Palladians or Arcturian at the very beginning, when we first incarnated onto the earth. Yeah. Maybe during Lemuria or Atlantis, who knows?
Yeah.
And it's coming back again.
It's weird you should say Atlantis, because that's where I felt a strong connection with him, is Atlantis, really, as well. And it just led me throughout time to do research and just look into it more than anything. And ancient Egypt is another thing as well. For me, that is something which I hold quite close to my heart.
Yeah, we share that.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we share that.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any past life exploration?
You have. It was fantastic. I did it actually 2 years ago, and there was many lives that actually came through. And one of my guides now is actually an Egyptian guide, and I knew her basically back in that time. What I found fascinating is that the research I had found from my past life was actually on Google. And I found certain lifetimes we lived. There was one, I was a sailor in a ship, and it crashed basically on sea. And when I went back to that time, there were certain parts of the ship and everything that I knew I'd recognize in this life. So then I Googled it and found they gave me the exact year, everything. And that's what took me back to it. So it was phenomenal.
Google's a wonderful thing.
It really is, to prove to yourself, though, as well, about that past life regression. Because you wouldn't have known.
Did you, during your past life, exploration.
Yeah.
Did you experience pure energy at all?
Yeah. So one of my lives was I was a female in Germany. My name was Lucy, I think, from my remembering of it, and she died in a house fire. And I remember when I was sat there, I actually came up with screaming into this right now, and because I could feel the burning on my hands, it was that sort of physical, but I could feel it from her, and yeah, it was remarkable. I'd recommend anyone to go into passive regression.
Yeah, I've been a past life regression therapist for 40 years, well, longer than 40 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't do a great deal of it nowadays, but it does seem to me that the more and more one explores things in a safe way, the better it is, because you do feel whole at the end of it. It's almost like an emotional jigsaw puzzle.
It really is.
That we kind of, all the pieces fit,
Really
and then suddenly, well, here we are.
Yeah.
We feel whole. Why do we feel whole?
Yeah.
Maybe we're reliving memories. Maybe we're mad. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it works, and that's the most important thing. I think one of the things we can do. Do you not find that fear is the greatest problem for the people you work with?
Yeah, so it's one of those things, like, I find in this world, from a young age, we've been conditioned in this world and in this life, and you've got to be married by a certain age. You've got to have a mortgage to get security. You've got to make sure your ducks are in a sort of row and everything like that. And I, for one, certainly know that life doesn't always pan out that way. And you have to literally ride the wave. That's what you've got to do, and the ups and the downs.
You were just told to ride the wave.
Yes, I was. My guy just said, ride the wave, just like that. And that's why I said, thank you. You know, it's a safe place by you for me to do it, really. But yeah, it's one of those things. But it certainly is. It's a journey, and it's about learning and loving that journey.
Yeah. I mean, those of us that choose to make the trip have to stay on the road. What we don't realise when we start, of course, is the road will be just as bumpy as it is in every other way. Have you had many bumps along the way?
A lot of bumps. So for me, I found it hard coming out as a medium, just because of my life just prior to that, but also going a bit back to my story and stuff. I'm, a gay man, and I had to come out as a gay man. And until then, I didn't come out until I was about 25. But then what I found was I flourished because I took off the mask.
You were honest.
Yeah, I was honest with myself and others around me. And then spirit loves that authenticity. They can work with that. And I found that as soon as I overcame it, it was like almost the doors opened. Yeah. And it was time to go through them and just be myself. Yeah. 100%.
And now your journey's truly begun.
Yes.
I mean, some of I remember seeing you at Kilfruit Church.
Yeah.
At Liz Epson's church. And I found you refreshing. Because many of the mediums that we see are dull, and their delivery is dull, their connection is dull, the evidence that they give isn't really evidence. It could apply to absolutely anybody. Yeah. But you have this refreshing. You're right when you said earlier, well, I can't remember. You're a performer, but isn't that what it is? Aren't we supposed to do that? Do you think?
I do feel that, and I totally agree that everyone is an individual in their mediumship, and I can't read everyone. That's something I will certainly say right here, right now. And if I'm not the medium for you, there is certainly someone else. And that is the way itself. But it is about my mentor, Michaela Cochran. She was a fantastic mentor, and she taught me a lot. And she said, Josh, it is about just being you, and spirit will love that. And that's something I stick to this day. And it's just about allowing it to flow.
Intent.
Yes, 100%. So before I work in an event, service, or one-to-one reading or anything like that, It's about intent. I sit there with my guides, and only those who want to work in the love and light sort of thing to come through. And please allow me to advise them in the best way possible, Spirit. And leave them with something special. That's what I strive to do.
It's all about giving them things to consider, isn't it? That's
just
the thing.
dropping it in there. Just a little light. And do you know what? I was having a good conversation with a friend this morning, and we was talking about healing and spirituality. And how it is about healing, overcoming everything that we once taught ourselves or conditioned ourselves, and to come forth then. And she's an actual healer. And I said to her, maybe the journey is more about you opening the door for someone and allowing them then to go onto their healing journey,
That seems to me quite logical. Because if we're healing somebody, we're trying to get them into recovery.
Yes.
So that they can own their life and carry on with their journey. And I mean, you must come across a lot of people that want to know whether they're going to pass their exams, whether they're going to win the lottery and all this.
Yeah.
I find all of that really selfish.
Yeah, and do you know what I say to a lot of people and sitters and everything as well, that I get what I give. Yeah. What comes through during that time is what I'm meant to give you.
And it won't be lottery numbers.
No, it won't. Won't be the lottery numbers, no, not at all, to be honest. But it's something that people come to a reading or come to a service with a certain thing in their mind, don't they? And they're very sort of narrow about that. Then they're very in that lane. Yes, focused on it. That is the correct word. Focused on it, and then anything much else that comes in them which is not agreeing with them, they don't quite understand. They go know about it, but then they leave. And the amount of messages I've had then as well after it saying, I know what you mean. I know exactly what was coming through and that type of thing. So it's quite overwhelming, isn't it, when you start in a crowd of people and then, a medium comes to you and you think, so just like that.
I find it quite, I mean, as I've said, you're refreshing in the way that you work. What are your feelings about, and this isn't about slagging other mediums or anything like that. This is about technique. One of the things that concerns me greatly is the number of people that we see working on the rostrum nowadays who are so generalized in their delivery that what they're saying could apply to absolutely anybody in the audience. And, whereas I feel a connection directly with somebody that I'm going to talk to if it's a group, as I'm sure you do and I know others.
Yeah.
But some people, what I call fishermen, they chuck the line out and the line might have something like, elderly lady, a grandmother figure, I think, and oh goodness me, she loves apple pies. Well, how many people could that apply to? And you will get somebody who will raise their hand and say, "That's my granny."
Yeah.
And then when they carry on, whatever they say has no meaning whatsoever for the person.
Yeah.
But they do take some satisfaction out of the fact that they think that they've had their grandmother. Which is great, but it's not evidence, is it?
No, it's not. And I feel the evidence is what makes it, And when I was sort of going in sort of fledgling ways and going into my mediumship, I was more focusing on the structure and stuff like that. As soon as then I stopped focusing on structure and just allowed the spirit to come through. Yes, to come through and just be who they are, take over the characters, all that, all of that. And just being able then it just flowed. Everything did.
Do you find, I mean, I've experienced this myself a few times, well, more than a few times. But do you find that when you are working, that your guide's voice actually becomes your own voice as well? Yeah. 100%. I think that really shows partnership.
It really does. And it's 50-50, and this is exactly what my friend was on about.
And isn't that a beautiful thing?
It's a collaboration. A collaboration of two spirits, regardless of me being in the physical and my guide being in the spirit world. It's a connection which just,
and what it does do is that it demonstrates beautifully how we live in a multidimensional universe, and those dimensions are so close together.
Yes.
Because if they weren't, we wouldn't be able to experience this. 100%. So, how about other mediums, Josh? I mean, there's a lot of jealousy around, isn't there?
There is, and it's quite a sad thing.
And what do you think that's about?
Connection, and if someone's able to provide a bit more evidence or have that connection with spirit, then sometimes mediums can get jealous of that. And what I've learned is that mediumship is quite a lonely road on the physical here, and my circle is very, very small. I've learned some hard lessons over the years with that, if I'm honest. So, I find it quite sad. And it's almost like I've stopped talking to certain people about certain things that have happened to me in my experience, because I don't want them to feel anything from it, like jealousy or anything like that. So I'm almost protecting in a way, I guess, and just trying to keep it. I know what I felt, I know what I'm receiving. So it's just one of those things.
There are, I personally feel, we had this discussion the other week on the program that, there are a lot of people around that wannabes. I want to be a medium. I want to serve spirit, but they don't actually know what that means.
No.
And they read a book or they buy an app.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're mediums, but they're not.
No.
And the sad thing is that they get on the circuit.
Yeah, it is. And I find it's life lessons.
Yeah.
That's what molded me in my mediumship.
Yeah.
So the things that I had to go through, and when we talked about it earlier on, funny enough, and I don't just class. So you have all these different types in life, don't you? Your career, your personal life, your love life, all these different things. What I realized recently was they all coincide together. Yeah. It's all one journey, isn't it?
You can't separate.
No, you cannot separate it. And the lessons that you go through in love, in your family or relationship or financial, is actually quite a spiritual thing itself, isn't it?
Well, I personally believe that we are a spiritual existence, and that everything is part and parcel of that. It's only that society has chosen to separate off somewhere along the line. Obviously in Victorian times things came back just a little bit, didn't they?
It did,
in a very bizarre way. Probably actually thinking about it, mirroring very much how things are today. That there were genuine mediums around and there were wannabes around. I won't use the word fraud. Oh my dear, I used it. But it does happen. It does happen.
It does. And it's just unfortunate, really. It's just one of those things. But for mediums out there who are doing the work for spirit and doing it from a place of love, just know you are seen.
Yeah.
And spirit knows what you're doing.
Yes.
And I always say to everyone, as long as your heart is in the right place, spirit will never let you down.
No, that's right. And I think, the biggest thing that gets in the way is the medium's ego.
Oh, yes.
Every time, isn't it? Because, we've known mediums, we've worked with mediums who say, oh, yes, it is. Oh, you're not listening. Oh, goodness me. He's right behind you now. Can't you feel it? Can't you experience it? Oh, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And, it means nothing at all to the person who's on the receiving end of that. But whoever the medium is won't have it. Their word is law, and spirit's word isn't law, is it? So that's where things go very, very sadly amiss.
100%. And it's like something which I learned as well is, in the early parts of this, is I'm not the boss.
No.
Spirit is the boss.
Well, we're a partnership.
100%, and I think that it's one of those things that we said earlier on, that is collaboration. Two spirits, isn't it? We're working together, as one, basically. And I pride myself on that, if I'm honest. And like I say, as long as you're coming from that place of love and harmony, you pass that on then. People feel it, don't they, at the end of the day.
Joshua Ali, it's been an absolute
Thank you.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Joshua Ali, our guest this evening on In the Psychic's Chair.
Thoughts on suffering. All of us say, we do not want to suffer, and yet each and every day, we cause more suffering to ourselves, and support those who perpetuate suffering for others. We say, we do not want to suffer. What do we mean by suffering? It is created, defined and experienced by so many souls on our planet, and controlled and manipulated by so few. A must for every bookshelf. This thought-provoking little book inspired by Padre Pio is written by Lazarus Carpenter and illustrated by Jill Brooks. Available from LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com.
This is backstage of Adelina Patti's theatre, which was built back in the 19th century so that she could give performances and everything else. And of course we popped in here. Was it last week we popped in here or the week before? I can't remember. Anyway, Josh, you join us backstage along with Elaine.
Yes.
Over to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. So what I get from here is a lady straight away, and what I feel is opera, singing, and different things. But acting, I also pick up that it's like puppets as well. You know, I picked up that earlier on, but you can feel her here, her presence as well.
And isn't it a beautiful presence?
It is a beautiful.
I mean,
she's
Adelina
very-
Patti was a true lady, and what a
Yes.
tiny lady, not any taller than you, really, Elaine, at your height. I feel as if you want to burst into song.
You've been saying that,
Yeah, it's a
haven't
very
you?
light energy.
Yeah.
Very, like you say, you just want to burst into song.
Mm.
And I do feel there was another lady who would sing along with her.
Mm-hmm.
There's another lady, there's two of them here.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them singers.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, beautiful energy of Adeline Patti.
Right, right. And I yeah, okay. I'm feeling Rossini, the composer, who was one of Adelina's closest friends,
Okay.
and I'm feeling him here now, pulling in as we're talking.
Yeah.
Who was interestingly the first energy, if you like, that I ever experienced here 15 years ago. He's just said to me, "You remember?" I said, "Yeah, I remember." Sitting in the bar in the bay window, and he said to me, or rather I heard his voice say, "Hello, little man with the big voice." And he then introduced himself to me. I didn't know who he was, but it's nice of him to join us.
Seems a very big energy.
Enormous energy,
Yeah.
enormous energy. And very vibrant,
Mm.
extremely vibrant.
Do you feel as well? Because what I'm picking up is that he would have spoke on stage just prior to her going out or anything like that, and he would have got them ready, sort of thing, is what I'm picking up.
Preparing them for the
Yes.
for the big do.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, she had some incredible people here,
Yeah.
and ran some wonderful events. I mean, when you consider she travelled all over the world.
You hear that tapping?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that
I
then
did.
as well? Yeah. As well.
It's from here, wasn't
Yes,
it?
that's
Like-
right. Yeah.
Oh, and the shadow.
There we
And
go.
the flash, do you see it?
Yeah. Now what I feel as well is people then standing on the sides ready to roll down, bring the curtain up or vice versa. You could feel them there as well. A lot of work went into it. You know, she practiced it and everything, what she was doing, but even the other people helped so much. You know?
I think she was probably quite a hard taskmaster.
Oh, yeah.
Because she wanted everything to be just so.
Absolutely.
And when you consider, she was the first in a lot of things. I mean, Craggynos Castle was the first place ever to have electricity around here.
Wow.
It was the first place ever to have a telephone. Furthermore, it was the first place where music was recorded, ever, on the original disc. And the song, I'm feeling tremendous energy around me while I'm saying this. And the song that she sang was Home, Sweet Home, which was the one that she was famous for. That was the one that was recorded. And that original recording, I have to say, despite the fact she had a wonderful voice, it doesn't do her voice justice, really. Because as you can imagine, it was a bit rough for that particular time. But what a marvellous place.
It's beautiful.
Marvellous place. I mean, Moira O'Dwyer and myself did a show here on the stage, and I've seen Moira work many times, and she's impressive, as you know, but goodness speedy, she worked well that night.
Yeah.
Very well indeed. It's a beautiful place. And it lends itself to such as ourselves, doesn't it? To you know, be kind of, communing, really, I suppose. Yeah. We're being directed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the gentleman is at the top there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. It's not the Baron, is it?
That's what I'm picking up as a gentleman with the hat on. He
The
looks
Baron.
like Captain Jack, I'm going to say to you. He looks like some pirates or something like that.
Mm.
But I can feel he got...
Beard.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the fruffles, they used to wear like a white shirt or something.
Mhm.
I could see that. He showed me shoes. He has trousers on and to about there with the white socks and everything. And he's like this, just over the banister. They're there, just like that. He's watching us, he is. But he's been quite well.
Captain Rice Powell
Right. Yes.
built the castle.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Then.
Well, I mean, paid for it to be built. All right, his father paid for it.
Hand by hand, he
Yeah,
built it,
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
But that's what I'm getting.
We've got lots of children as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've just
Yeah.
seen two children walk across the platform at the top.
Yeah.
We had a couple of children waving at us last year, the week, didn't we?
You did?
Maids is also what I'm picking up on as well. Maids,
Do you have a name with any of the maids by any chance?
Right, okay, thank you very much. There's a Victoria,
Mhm.
which is a name which I'm getting as well. She also came in earlier on as well, but Victoria, and I know it sounds bizarre, but I
Never mind.
Yeah, Emma.
Go for
I
it.
know this sound Emma
Yeah.
is another name which I'm getting. Do you understand that?
Mhm, I do.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
thank you.
The reason I understand it
Yeah,
is because when we were doing the trans-channeling,
yes,
we had lots and lots of visitors. And I recall some of the names. The other week, Mark Hopton gave us evidence of somebody who we'd spoken to 2 years ago, which is the exact same story.
fantastic. Benjamin
Mhm.
is another name which I'm picking up on as well for someone as well. What is it? Yeah.
Sarah from there.
You said,
Flashed across there then. Did you see that?
is another name as well.
Mhm.
And a little boy called Thomas.
And can you describe his physical condition?
Something with the leg he's bringing through, and he's got a walking stick at the time back in them times. Do you understand?
Yes,
that?
I
Yeah,
understand.
and he's got something going on with his leg, is what he's showing me
Mhm.
by here. But I feel like this with him.
Mhm.
Like I want to, something else as well, condition with the hip is what I'm picking up on,
Mhm.
so by here
Mhm.
as well with him, bless him. He's saying they didn't treat me any different, they didn't treat me any different. Do you understand that? Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. But he's making me all around by here with her, he is as well. And he had siblings here as well, he's telling me now as well. The sister that she had was someone quite close to him, like that form. His mother wasn't always around. Does this make sense as
Well, if it's two children who I think were in the hospital when it was TB hospital,
Right,
yes,
okay, okay.
their mother wouldn't be around.
Brilliant, okay. Someone else took over.
Mm,
Thank you
a
very
nurse.
much. Yeah, yes, it was a nurse.
Mm.
As soon as you said that then, the old hats that the nurses used to wear came through in them
Mm.
and took him in. And she had hair down to about right here, really curly, like as if it was tongs into her hair as well. Big hips she's showing me now as well. Lovely energy though, as well. Lovely energy. But there was a man that they didn't like here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A man they didn't like. Tell me
Yes.
more.
There was a man they didn't like here.
Mhm.
The children quite feared this man.
Yes.
And my throat is going now as I say this to you. I'm
Mm.
trembling a bit inside. My voice is starting to change. Fear in my heart is coming through heavy from him. They used to hide or try and hide if they heard him coming.
Mm-hmm.
And they would run. And as I say that, they take me to the corridor down to by here.
Mm-hmm.
And they take me to that area. And what they say is hide, hide, hide.
Mm-hmm.
Have they found secret compartments in this building, please?
There are places
which wouldn't look like
That's
something,
right.
but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can pull them out
Yeah, yeah.
and get in something that I would have to go a bit
Yeah.
lower
Yeah.
and pull to the side.
The salt room downstairs.
Right, okay, so we'll understand. Thank you, thank you. And Timmy is a name which is coming through now.
Oh,
Timmy.
is it?
Timmy.
Hello again, Timmy.
Right, okay, so he's come through before, fantastic. He's coming in as well. They bring that sort of, the hustle and bustle sort of energy and moving around very quick in this place and everything as well. They were told to hide when this was happening, when also there's more other things which were here as well. Was there like not like a plague, but disease which came about this area, please, quite quickly?
Yeah. I mean, this building, Craggynos Castle,
Yeah.
when Adelina passed in 1919,
Yeah.
became a TB hospital in
Okay.
1920.
Right.
And remained really a hospital of sorts up until the late 70s, early 80s.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense then as well.
It began as a TB hospital and ended up as basically a dementia care home. Really.
Right. So this is where now also I feel I'm switching in between energies as well and picking up things from Adelina's time, but then also then I moved to different times of the hospital.
Yeah.
With that.
It's very difficult often, I think, to distinguish between them because they are so closely enmeshed.
100%.
But the children don't like Baron Cedarstrom.
Right, okay.
Because he didn't like children. And he is in spirit, of course. And he is here all the time. He's one of the few energies who is here all of the time.
Okay.
Everybody else drifts in. Now, he's stuck for a reason, which we won't go into on camera. But he is stuck.
And I just want to go over here a bit because I feel like I can go underneath it. Is it like an entrance to something, please? Or was they here before?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I want to go under here and I want to hide. And I also feel that things were found from a very, very long time ago, which were hidden here. And they were found later on and just came to light as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Was bones or anything ever found, please?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're thinking, I'm thinking you're thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking you're thinking. That because I felt some time ago that perhaps some of the children that passed in the early days of it being a hospital didn't pass in quite the way that they should have done and were disposed of.
Right, okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had a similar thing.
yeah. I think they were passed over and buried here.
I'm linked to this area by here. This is where I am. And I want to go down there, is what I feel.
So, I mean, it's interesting you should say that because most of the work that Jeremy and I did with the channeling was done beneath here.
Right, okay.
And we did have a few issues occasionally. I mean, there's nothing here that is nasty and horrible at all. Nothing. Nothing. It's a beautiful space spiritually. But there, like everything else, there is the odd residual bit of sadness. And quite a bit. Quite a bit.
I got an uplifting scene of, where your face is very white and one of those,
The purpose as well. Do you
It's almost like
like a French.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, she did lots of various operas in costume.
Right.
So that would work. And of course, in those days, French theatre was very popular.
Feels fun now. Feels
It
really
does.
fun, doesn't it? With the beauty spot.
Yes, that's what I'm about to say, the beauty spot right here, like as if they wanted the beauty spot to be there and everything, and then
White powder.
this is it, and then going like this and everything, poof, just like that is what she's doing to me now. She had a voice, didn't she? Could get that voice out.
For a little lady, she could bang it
4
out.
foot tall.
Really? Bless her.
4'11". Very tall.
I do feel music was in her life, in her bones from the beginning.
That's certainly in her life story, that's true.
So,
That's true. Her parents were both. Joshua, thank you very much for being in the Psychic's
you're
chair
welcome.
this
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you for watching.
MostHauntedCastle.com, Paranormal investigations with a difference. Visit our website or ring reception for details. 01639 731167.